Moving on to Hellraiser 4 Bloodline. Pinhead in space. This came out the exact same year as Leprechaun in space, so this was the year to take horror villains to space. And these were both part 4s of a franchise as well, so I thought that was pretty ironic. This takes place in the year 2127, and we are talking spoilers here as usual. Which makes us know that whether or not he was actually successful in destroying Pinhead, the Cenobites, whatnot, we know that they are at least around until 2127, so they could make, it's like, even if they kill them here, that doesn't mean they can't make a million sequels that take place before this. I like how the guy is using the robot, and as soon as like the robot is able to open it up, the robot just explodes. Like the robot just can't handle it. There was a chick in this movie, and her name is Rimmer. I think that's just a joke waiting to happen. It's like a setup for me. I was just like, Rimmer? Really? All right. Wow. We get the origin of the box here, which I've said many times, like people don't like origin type stuff, but it's cool to see, how it was made, who it was made by, who it was made for, why, what happened. So yeah, I liked watching the guy design it and come up with it. It was cool. Adam Scott is in this movie. He's not in it for a bunch. Well, in the beginning he is. I mean, he's in it. He's a main character for the first 30 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, is that Adam Scott? Yep, sure as hell was. And the girl, the evil girl who's with him, the princess in this movie, looks so much like Numi Rapace. I think I'm saying that right. I think I got it down. I listened to it recently. She looks so much like her. It was super, super close. The resurrection scene, when whatever the hell they're doing with that box, and then the guy's watching from the corner, that looked really cool. We also have Lisa from Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Another thing, if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know my absolute love for Nightmare on Elm Street 2. So to see Lisa in this was just a treat for me, for sure. The whole idea that the guy who made the box passes on his knowledge or ability or whatever to his next generation, so on and so forth. It's fine. I'm not a huge Lineage kind of person. I've talked about that in other reviews where I don't like the Michael Myers, Jamie Lee Curtis, or Laurie Strode relationship thing. I don't like the Luke and Leia thing. There's some things like that. So I'm not huge on the Lineage thing, but I like the idea that they're just stalking them forever. This is just going on and on and on, and there's just no way out of it. And finally this guy has to come up with a space station to get rid of them. So yeah, it was fine. I think just this movie is... It's a little, it's a little slow. I'm not going to say it's uber slow, because there's stuff going on in it that's interesting, but it is pretty slow, and I can see why people would dislike this movie. I ended up thinking it was good. I was oh, okay, that was cool. It was cool to see some flashbacks, because it starts in the 1800s and it moves all the way into 2127, as I said, and a couple time periods in between. So this movie is all over the place in time periods, and it does tend to be a slow at times. So I understand the dislike. I found myself enjoying it, and we find out that John Merchant, which is the main guy, in the middle time period, now, is the one that designed the building at the end of 3. I was talking about at the end of Hellraiser 3 that I wonder if that building will play into it, if they will acknowledge that at all, because I thought that they would just outright ignore stuff. But no, that building is in this movie. This is the guy who built it. And she even like goes down and breaks through the concrete and pulls the thing out where the girl buried it in part 3. So totally 1, 2, 3, and 4 all do play off of each other, which I always love. I have such sights to show you is used here yet again. That's become the reoccurring line, along with the, come to daddy, which was not in this one that I heard. I may have missed it, but I don't think it was. And the pins in Pinhead's head actually look like real pins this time, real like nails. In the last one, they look like rubber. Like the last, for some reason, I don't know who Anthony Hickox had hired for his makeup work, but he had a lot of cool stuff in that movie. Pinhead's face, though, did not look good. They looked rubbery. This one looked like real metal. So I just noticed that from this time. I like how the guards, the twin guards that end up being like the twisted face Cenobites that are together, their discussion is talking about would they have sex with a man if he had a sex change operation and had already had his dick cut off. And he was like, yeah, I guess I would. And I was like, that's real guy talk. That's real guy talk right there. That's like behind the scenes when no one else is listening and no one's there to judge. That's what you and like your best friend are talking about. Not all you're talking about, of course, but I just found it funny. I was just like, yeah, that's guy talk right there. We're silly. It always has to do with sex. Somebody's fucking somebody. That's what guys talk about. As I said, not all guys, and that's not all they talk about, but damn, it is a lot. So yeah, it just made me laugh. I like the "I am pain" line. There's a lot of really quotable. I don't know how I would use that in my life. Like, I'm not sure that I would like be in a social setting and just like in the middle of somebody saying something, turn around and just be like, "I am pain." I don't think that would get me a lot of cool points in the moment. But we get Danny Torrance here from the Shining miniseries. I don't know how I'm guessing the majority of you know, but if you don't, The Shining was remade by Stephen King in the 90s because he wasn't a big fan of the Kubrick version. I think it was 97 if I remember correctly. And it is almost identical to the novel, which I've read the novel, and it's really cool for people who are a fan of the novel. But one of the downsides of that, the acting in that whole thing is pretty bad. All around, but my God, the kid who plays Danny Torrance, he has this horrible haircut, which he has in this movie as well, and he just has this punchable fucking face. Like, I know it's terrible to say about a kid, but it's just his teeth and the way he talks, and oh God, the Danny Torrance, and seeing him here, I'm like, no, get out of here, Danny Torrance, before I fucking knock you into room 237. And we get a chattering dog this time. The chatterer is gone, I guess, once he became a kid. He's gone. He's toast because we don't see those Cenobites again. I watched Hellraiser Inferno tonight as well. We haven't seen any of the old Cenobites ever since the third one, or the second one. Second one, sorry. They just been gone. Like in the third one, we got some new looking ones, and this one we got new ones, and the next one we got new. So those original two, like the ones from part 1 and 2, the only one who's retained is Pinhead. But this time we get a chattering dog. And I wonder if his Cenobite is worse than his Cenobite. I can't help it, man. I can't help it. I love puns. Okay. I like the design of the princess when she becomes a Cenobite again. Her like head's been opened up and it's like, I don't know, tied or hooked into her shoulders. Just like that look. I thought it was really cool. I really like the mirror kill as well. She like is saying help from the mirror, and this security guard comes over, and he's like, what the hell? And he's like trying to figure it out, and she like grabs his hands and pulls half his body in, and then like lets the whatever spell she had on the mirror go, and like it just like his body's in the middle of it, so it just splits in half and falls apart. That was a cool, like, just clever little way to kill somebody. Why not, right? And the first time I saw the space station, it was just like, and I haven't seen this movie in so long, so I remember nothing. But as soon as I saw the space station, I was like, that's a puzzle box. Just the way it was all folded open, it just looked like it had hinges and it looked like it would close up into a box. I was like, oh, that's going to be a puzzle box, and that's how he's going to defeat them at the end. Like, it's going to be the whole, like, oh my God. And that little, satellite that's outside is that light projection that guy couldn't solve to finish the box. But yeah, they have the ability to open the box open the gateway forever, which I guess would just bring hell to earth, which I guess is what the third movie did, right? Like hell on earth, they brought him there, but then they took him away. This one, they're trying to open the doorway forever, and it's like, I'm going to kill your wife and your kid unless you open up the gateway for us to come in forever. And it's like, but if I do that, you're going to kill us all, aren't you? Like, that, isn't that your end game? I don't know what their end game is. I don't even know what the hell they want to do with the gate open. Like, he wants to come back, or like, I don't know. I don't even understand what that was all supposed to be about. But yeah, they wanted it open. If I missed that, please tell me why they wanted it open for good, just so they could come in and out and take as many souls and torture as many as they want. They're just hungry for more torture. I guess that's what they're into, right? Everyone has their thing. All right, well, let's move on to the next one.